Hey, Cheap Air Gunner Channel, I'm Cherokee Steve. What we have going on today, I'm going to be doing some outside shooting. Now, that's something that is pretty unusual for this channel. I have pretty much limited myself to my basement shooting range. I have neighbors that are extremely close. I have been reluctant to shoot in my backyard. I have taken my rangefinder to one end of my backyard and did some range finding to the other side, and it's pretty much a 25-yard wide backyard. So what I've got is some towels laid out, since I'm going to try to be shooting from a prone position and staying below the sight line of my neighbors. I only have a 4-foot fence, so most of my neighbors have 6-foot privacy fences, so I'm a little bit more susceptible to being seen and or heard while I do shooting. But let me show you what I'm talking about. I've got some fence section that I made, propped up a board behind, and put a small target on that I will be trying to really tweak and sight in my 2400 KT HPA. Take the dot sight, get it sighted in on a target, and do a little bit more target shooting on another target to make sure that everything's tweaked in properly. I've been limited to most of my optics to what I can shoot in my basement, which is about 10 meters. This is 25 yards, so this would be a much better example of what I would be doing if I was out, shooting at squirrels and or rabbits. So this is what it looks like. Down there at the far left-hand side of the backyard, looking for my back door, I have got the blankets laid out to lay on, keep my pellets on, and my 2400 KT HPA. You make your way across the backyard, and there's the fence section I have that's propped up. And I have got a iPad ready to record the target area. So let's get to some shooting. So I'm back down here in the basement with getting the 2400 KT HPA ready. I topped it off. I'm up at a full fill of 15 MPA. What I really want to sight it in with are the Barracuda Hunter Extremes. Those are the pellets that give me the most smack power, the highest foot-pounds of energy. And if I were to go out hunting, that's what I would be using. So that's what I want to make sure I get everything sighted in with. And I thought what would be a good comparison is to where they hit the target at after sighting in with the Barracuda Hunter Extremes, which are fairly heavy 22 caliber pellet. Take a middle of the road 14.3 Crosman Premier hollow point and see exactly what kind of target placement I get with that after sighting in the dot sight to the Barracuda Hunter Extremes. So that's where I'm at now, heading out to the backyard. I just wanted to give a little bit of information about what the weather's like outside. We have had a bunch of rain the past 2 or 3 days. Today is the first day that it's overcast, but not rainy. The sun has broken out many times today. It's very humid. It's about 80 degrees, high humidity, which I can't stand, but no wind. That was the most important thing I wanted to point out. There's absolutely no breeze whatsoever outside, so that didn't affect any of my shooting. I want to point that out. My shooting wasn't the best. It was not affected by any type of wind. I certainly can't blame it on that. But let's get to the video of the shooting itself. So the first thing I want to do is apologize. As far as the shooting video goes, I have 2 recording devices, one of which is my iPhone and the other is an iPad. I don't have any type of cameras or GoPros of any kind. I had my iPhone set up on a tripod stand trying to tape me at the point of shooting in the prone position, laying on the towel on the ground. I had my iPad set up where I thought it was going to be doing a decent job of recording the target. It was not zoomed in and farther away, or the picture comes across as being farther away than what I would have wanted. So it's not going to be very clear as far as a live action video of where the pellets are going. But I wanted to include some of it. It's my first attempt at recording something in my backyard. And it was just good. Good experience. Get the hell out of the basement finally and do some shooting and some taping out in a place other than my basement. So let's get to going over the target right now. So a quick rundown of the target itself. This is an 8x11 sheet of paper that I printed up the 5 target Airgun Depot print off. It only takes up, as you can see, a quarter of the 11x8 paper, so it's pretty small. The black portion of the target itself, again, I'm using this as a reference. That's 1.5 inches, knuckle to knuckle. That's what I always go by. So that black spot is approximately 1.5 inches. Now, as you can see, my shots are all over the place. But 2 things I know for sure. The first shot I took, I went down and checked out, and it wasn't even on paper. It was up, off, high. So I made an adjustment to the dot sight. And it was too much of a move, but I moved it and it shot down low, which was down here. They were pretty much left to right in line with each other. So I knew a minor adjustment needed to be made to move it over to the left. And I split the difference of what I had moved it from the first shot to the second shot, moving it back up. Now, I had various shots most of which were over here. My adjustment from over here being off to the right from center and adjusting to move it over to the left, all of my shots were a little bit too far to the left. So I brought it back to the right and I did a 5-shot group. I just, without stopping and walking down and checking out the target and making adjustments, I took 5 Barracuda Hunter Extremes and did a 5-shot group. And was pretty satisfied because that's 1, 2, 3, 4 just above 3, and 5 just above 4. So this, and this were a 5-shot group. And I was extremely happy with that. Let's see. That's easily covered with a 1/4. For me, I am ecstatic about that. Now, I did go ahead, and as I said, I was going to see, just out of curiosity, where the lighter, remember these Barracuda Hunter Extremes are a 19.09 grain 22 caliber pellet, and of course the Crosman Premier hollow points are 14.3 grain. So, you know, considerably lighter than the Barracuda Hunter Extreme. But at that point, I did a 3-shot group. And I was aiming for the center target. And I believe that 3 shots were over here, here, and here. So as you can see, there is a vast difference. Number one, I wasn't surprised about the lighter pellets shooting higher than the heavier Barracuda Hunter Extremes. I kind of expected that. But being off, way off to the right, I'm sure a decent amount of reason behind that is just me and my inability to stay on target. Again, I wasn't shooting from a table with a bag or anything like that. I was laying on the ground, prone position, elbows rested on the ground, trying to hold the gun steady. But I was very happy with the performance of what it is I'm going to be using when I hunt with this gun, which is the H&N Barracuda Hunter Extremes. So, pretty decent 5-shot group. Once again, I was excited, happy with the fact that I was able to get the heck out of the basement where I've been doing virtually all of my filming, get out into the backyard. I wanted to touch on something as far as the 2400 KT-HPA goes and that TKO moderator. At no point was I concerned about any neighbors poking their heads out because of sound. That thing, that moderator, that TKO moderator really cuts the bark out of that sound. The sound of the pellet smacking the wood behind the target was much louder than the actual firing of the pellet itself. Let's see, overall I took 18 shots, which took me from 15 MPA down to 10 MPA. If I was out in the field, I wouldn't want to go any lower than that based on the Crony numbers I have come up with, as you've seen in previous videos with the Barracuda Hunter Extremes and shooting at the velocities that they shoot at. Going from 15 MPA down to 10 MPA, 18 shots is more than enough for any type of hunting purpose. A vast number of open public sites that are open to small game airgun hunting. It is limited to small game. You can go up to 25 caliber at those public sites where airgun hunting is allowed. That's cool. I'm sure there's been a lot of air gunners behind getting that all legalized and taken care of. And that's about it. I look forward to doing more shooting at longer distances than my 10-meter range in my basement, and posting up more videos that are a little bit more interesting to look at than checking out what's down in my basement over and over and over again. So thanks for checking out the video, guys. Stay safe and shoot safe.